Welcome back, everybody, to Golf DMV. We got LB in the house, Vern in the house, no Claude today. Before you turn off your podcasts and run away, we do have a special guest, so please stick around. Stick around for that. Before I get started, I have to say we're brought to you by Cachet Spine and Sports out in Silver Spring, Maryland. Go get your back right, get your neck right, get fixed up, and by Love Life Coffee. Yes. I always go back and forth. Love Life Cafe, Love Life Coffee. Love Life Coffee out in Laurel. Go see our girl Magdalena. Get yourself some good coffee. As Claude always said, deliver lover. He loves it. I haven't been out there in a while, but I owe her a visit. So go visit Love Life Coffee. Pay full price. I feel like I got to do the whole Claude impersonation. Mm-hmm. Don't ask for discounts on our behalf.
But you can get a free gift if you go see Cachet Spine and Sports.
Okay.
In your first adjustment, you can get a free Golf DMV swag. You can get a hat, or then we got hats. We got golf towels. So you will leave with something other than a relieved pain-free back.
In addition to a pain-free back.
Yes.
Okay, so off the top, our special guest today is Nick Barrett, Maryland's own, from Catonsville, Maryland, 31 years old. We're going to talk about why he's on the show in a second. But Nick, if you want to introduce yourself and just tell us how you got into golf before we get to the whole story. Like, did you play in high school?
So I started playing golf at a really young age. My dad introduced me to it when I was. I mean, there's like VHS footage of it back when I was always swinging a golf club. But I didn't really start playing competitive golf until I got to about high school.
Okay.
So I started taking it serious, I guess, when I got to high school. I missed varsity my freshman year, and then I was starting to get a little bit better in my sophomore year, so I made varsity, and then...
Nice. Early on. That's when you knew you had something. It was like, oh, you know what? I'm pretty good at this, huh?
Well, I started practicing a little bit more, and I started working at a golf course, which opened up a lot of opportunities to play more. So,
which golf course?
It's a place called Turf Valley.
Yeah. Up off 70. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice.
What high school did you go to, Nick?
Liberty High School in Carroll County.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Glenn will know it. He's our Baltimore correspondent. Okay, so yeah, folks, we didn't just pick Nick out of the blue. Our buddies from Maroon PR reached out to us and told us, as a local, he'd gotten to the second stage of the U.S. Open qualifying, and then was met with a unfortunate rule situation, which I'm going to comment on in a minute. But Nick, for those who didn't, I read the Baltimore Sun article. You were very gracious in it, but for those who are unfamiliar with the story, just the quick 30-second minute rundown of kind of what happened there with.
If I could interject, can we start with the first round where you played and how that went in order to get to the second round? And then
you mean the local qualifying?
Yes.
Okay, and Northwest. I have questions about this too later, but yes, tell us about the local qualifier in Northwest.
Oh yeah, so Northwest, 18-hole local qualifying, just like normal.
Mm-hmm.
I shot 4 under. I mean, I made a lot of putts, and it was just my day. Really not the prettiest. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but like, I didn't do anything insane to like shoot 4 under. I got onto a couple par 5s and 2.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I made 2 birdies there, and I think I made like maybe one other putt outside of 15 feet to shoot 4 under, and that was good to get me through.
Nice.
So, was that 1 or 2 rounds at the qualifier?
At local qualifying, it's just 1.
1 round. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the final qualifying LB is, I think, was what they call golf's longest day, where you got to shoot the 36 or whatever. So before we get to that, actually, while we're here, you can just settle this for us now, Nick. We can knock this off. About Northwest. Okay, so some years ago, we're doing the show, and we always look at like where the local qualifying sites are for Maryland. And this is maybe 3-4 years ago. And I saw Northwest on there, and I brought up on the show that I was very disrespectful. I was like, Northwest is a big field. What's up? And so I got called out by our friends from Mediocre Golf Podcast, Adam, and I can't remember that gentleman's name, but Adam's the only one who's, I think, doing it now. And Adam told us, he was like, Northwest is long. They go to rough out. It's a tough test. You got to play from the tips. And ever since then, we've kind of joked about, it's been an ongoing joke about like, it's Northwest, especially when you have sites like Worthington, like you said, Woodmont, others. I don't know if Woodmont's ever been used for local, but anyway, just Was I wrong in thinking that like some real shooters, some real sticks could probably go to Northwest and kind of eat it up a little bit, or do I have
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I'd like to say I got lucky just because I played in the morning.
Okay.
Bunch of rain and like thunderstorms in the afternoon. It probably messed with the guys in the afternoon. But
Mhm.
I I think you're on point there. It's like if you're a guy that hits the ball relatively long off the tee, Northwest is probably not going to pose too much of an issue for you.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Big greens out there, not a whole ton of break
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
out there, but other than that, it's kind of just right out in front of you. Just you know,
Attack it and get it. Okay. All right. So you said it'll be by a good
Thank
golfer.
you.
And I'm not even going to be disrespectful to Northwest. Just they're probably in Maryland. There are probably scarier qualifying sites. If that comes up on your schedule,
well,
it's
you
kind
mentioned Worthington, and Worthington's definitely one of those courses that is like keep me away from there. Like it's
Right.
yeah,
question. So
absolutely. Okay. All right. So now that we've got through local qualifying LB, so Nick, just tell us. So we get through locals. We're headed to Woodmont for the longest day in golf. We've got 36 holes of golf to go, and just kind of take us through what happened that day.
yeah, so this is the second time I've been to sectionals or final qualifying, whatever you call it.
Hmm.
It's everything was going okay. I shot even par on the front nine. I was feeling pretty good about that. And
Hmm.
then I made birdie on 10 to get back to one under. And I kind of stumbled coming down the stretch. I made four bogeys in like a 5-hole stretch.
Okay.
And then I ended up making a nice par on 17. And mind you, I've got 30 or 40 of my friends and family out there watching me. I don't play in front of crowds or nothing like that. I'm just a weekend guy who plays when I can. So it's like I'm feeling a lot of emotions that I haven't ever felt on a golf course. So I get to 18, I hit a good drive, and I hit a nice 9-iron to about a couple feet. I end up making birdie on 18, and as I'm walking off the green, I'm greeted by like my dad and a couple of friends.
Right.
I'm not paying attention to what's going on around me right now. I've got a million emotions going through my mind.
Right. You're riding the high right now.
Yeah, I'm riding a high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not even paying attention to my playing partners. And they're probably off walking to scoring while I'm over here walking to the the lunch spread,
Yeah.
whatever I got. And the lunch spread's sitting, it's right there off the 18th green, and scoring is over by, I'm not sure if you guys have been to Woodmont, but like
Yeah.
if you walk off of 18 green, they set up the scoring area over by the driving range in
Oh.
the practice bays.
Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
And that's like I don't know. From the 18th green, it's like 300 or 400 yards, and I'm not even thinking about that at this point in time. So I just walk right into to lunch. I sit down, and I'm sure you guys have seen the Baltimore Sun already, and
Yeah.
talked about the hot dog, and I was hot dog, and I stood up after that, and I'm looking for my caddy. I found him, and I feel something in my back pocket, and it's my scorecard, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, and I didn't know this either until I read this story. I know about I think it was, I don't know if it was Spieth LB, who like some years ago they made a rule change to not turning in the scorecard being a DQ. Now I think it's just a 2-stroke penalty or whatever. But I didn't know there was a time limit. So as Nick was saying, like he's off riding the high of, getting to the next 30, the next 18 with a chance to get into the US Open. And I guess you have to go to the scorers table before the next group shows up. There's like a 15-minute window is what I found online. And
Basically.
and if outside the 15-minute windows, they DQ you. So Nick was disqualified. Nothing on, like you said, nothing on the course, no rules violations. Simply, I did a thing and didn't
Time.
attest to it soon enough. Which, I mean, you can say it here, Nick, if you want. In the article, he was very, I want to speak for you, but Nick was very gracious as he raised his hand. It's on me. All the stuff you're supposed to say. But I would like to see your group text, Nick, though, with you and your boys about.
Oh man, they let me up. It's just like how could you be so and like obviously when you look at it on paper, it's like God, what the hell was he doing? Like,
Mhm.
but man, it's just
No, I go the other way, Nick. I look, like I said, I mean, I guess if you, again, we're hacks. You're playing. You probably know the rule or are familiar with it, or whatever. But LB, if
I'm sorry, but that's the point. That was the question I wanted to ask you, Nick.
what's that?
Did you know there was a 15-minute period you had to turn it in, or you just knew you had to turn it in?
I knew that I needed to turn my scorecard in
Okay.
after the round, and it says immediately after the round in the rules.
Right.
I've never ran into this issue before, obviously, but like I obviously don't play too many 36 hole days in competition.
True.
So
Right.
I don't have any defense for it, but like, did I know per se that I needed to turn my scorecard in before the people behind me turned theirs in? No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you need a defense for it, because when I read the story, I had to read it again. I'll be like, I'm like looking. I was like, oh, did he like kick a dog on the way to the 18th hole? Nope, nothing. Just this time limit, and it made me think like, I don't know, if I put a rule in the rule book from the 1800s that said, oh, when you finish a round, you got to go in the clubhouse and clap 3 times and stand on one leg. There's so much arbitrary stuff in golf, and this one, I'm like, okay, like you said, no rules violation. Didn't leave the course and not turn it in.
Right.
Oh, just so I had a hard time understanding, like in any other sport. Oh, the Eagles put up 20 and the KC put up 15, but the Eagles didn't attest to the 20, so we don't do this with anything else. So the time part of it seemed arbitrary and ridiculous to me. I know you had to be a good sport, Nick, and say, oh, it's on me, I have no defense, but this was dumb to me. This is a dumb arbitrary rule in golf that has no. I don't understand the purpose of it, basically. And from what I found online, while I finished rambling here, was the whole point of the time and attestation or whatever, LB, they said is for like scoring purity, like to make sure there's no errors or issues or something like that. But I mean, his playing partners were still there at the course. If there was a problem, they could. So I don't know. It seems arbitrary to me. I don't know how you feel about it, LB.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know there was a time. And the other question for me is that time limit across all of the major PGA, LPGA, Corn Ferry, do they have the same time limit? I'm assuming they would have the same time limit. And to your point, Nick, I've been to Woodmont a few times, and the event that I went to, I don't remember what the score table was, but where you say it is and where 18, I know where 18 is.
Right.
That's not like right there. I mean, it's way on the other side. It's not close. So, and the tournaments that I have been to, the PGA as well as the LPGA, even Corn Ferry,
right there.
If you come off 18, the scorers table is right there. I mean, you can't go anywhere but past it.
You damn near run into it. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I can go back to like local qualifying, like when I was at Northwest. Since we were teeing off of 1 and 10, like there was you were one or the other, and regardless of which side you started on, finished. If I had started on 1, scoring is like the tent was posted like literally 50 yards behind the green on 18. So there's really no opportunity for you to walk past it and not see it.
Right.
So,
Man.
but
so all right. So yeah. So you got to. I mean. So again, you're going to be back at it, I assume, next year. I think Shinnecock Hills. I think that's where we're at next year. So of course, with this performance, local, we're going to do it again next year, right? We're going after. He's looking at me like, of course.
I'm not gonna let this like stop me from trying to qualify. I mean, as soon as I made it through back in 2023, like I knew that the USGA had my entry fee for the next, I don't know how many years. So,
right.
I mean, obviously this situation really sucked, but like, it is what it is. I'm gonna get back on the horse and just go back out there and do it again.
Yeah, the archaic nature of the rules, LB, the arbitrary nature of the golf rule strikes again. One famous one, I say famous, I don't remember who the golfer was, but this is like back in, I don't know, 2013, 2014, LB, I'm just starting to watch golf, and a guy like hits a twig on his backswing, and then hits the thing, and then self-reports. And this was like a known golfer. I can't remember who it was. And he and it became a thing, and it was like, yeah, it's a 2-stroke penalty. And it doesn't improve the shot at all.
No, exactly.
Anyway,
wasn't trying to hit the ball, none of that stuff.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we got Patrick Reed stomping around. That's a fight. You don't have to respond to that, Nick. So we'll get to some more. I have some rules questions for you at the end here, but. So with that behind us, obviously we're going to be pulling for you for next year for Shinnecock Hills. So I'm going to keep an eye on where the qualifying sites are. But I am curious. So for those who don't know, like I said, we're hacks. Nick is a legit stick. You also reached the round of 32 in the 2024 U.S. Mid-Am. And I looked that up, and it looks like you went to a playoff hole with Brian Blanchard or whatever. Yeah. So tell me about our group. We're a bunch of casuals, whatever, but we got 14, 16 guys, and we're starting to get more competitive with each other. Just this past weekend, we went to Die in the rain and had a net and gross match or whatever, and it was pretty fun. And we typically don't do this, and so we all noticed how it changed how we played. Go a lot more tense. And again, there's nothing on the line here. So what I'd like you to tell me is somebody who's experienced in competitive golf, the US, the Mid-Am and local qualifying. One, is there a difference in your mind for strategy for stroke play versus match play? And then two, if you could just speak broadly overall about how going up in competitive levels actually is, like they say in all the cliche in all sports, you have to lose and learn how to be in those positions. That's a real thing, isn't it? Being in those tense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the comparison between stroke play and match play, I mean, is as simple as I can say it is when you're playing stroke play, you're not really worried about the rest of the field.
Okay.
To a certain degree, you're more or less trying to beat the golf course. But like you did this past weekend with your buddies, it's when you're playing a match, right. it changes your mindset a little bit because now you're not really worried about you're not really worried about the golf course. I guess you're still worried about the golf course, but you're playing the guy that you're
matched up against.
Yeah, matched up against. So there's a lot of things that go into it, I guess. If you're first on the tee or whatever, and you're first to play, and you hit a drive down the middle of the fairway, and now your opponent has to match you for that, or it changes your decisions when you're green. If you've got a 15-footer for birdie, and the guy beside you's got a 5-footer for birdie, and you make it on and you make your birdie putt first, that completely changes the game.
It does.
It changes something mentally, and there's you learn a ton just by doing that stuff. I mean, I think that's awesome that you're doing that because it changes the game for sure.
It does, and then it makes us obviously we got more competitive guys in our group who really like this, who are hey, now we're putting this no more 1-2 footers. We're putting everything out, and I can't tell you how many. There was a couple LB this weekend that were. I'm a decent putter. It is 1 foot, and I go up to just half tap it in, and it goes out, and it's that's 8. I'm oh. It's
you got another person you're playing against too, because I got some buddies at home that they'll chip it up to 2 or 3 feet or whatever, and they're gonna be looking at me hey man, is that good or I.
You're yeah. It depends.
No, you got to put it out.
It depends on the person. If the person's a shaky putter, they're putting it out. If it's it has a lot to do with with credit. Oh, but I mean that's cool, man. Like I said, I think even the U.S. Mid-Am that was pretty dope. I was kind of looking. That was in Virginia, right? Kinloch Club, was that right?
Kinloch Golf Club, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Did you have something, LB?
Yeah. So Nick, when you're playing competitive golf, are there any things you do differently to keep your, to stay calm? And what do you do to keep yourself calm in those situations, putting, whatever it is on the course that you might do differently versus playing with your buddies?
Yeah, so definitely it's the more you play competitive golf, the easier it gets, I guess. You're still very nervous. That'll always be there. If you're not nervous, you're not human. So it really just comes down to knowing your tendencies when you're under the gun like that. And whether that be a 20-yard draw, but I mean it doesn't matter. If you know it's gonna happen when you're feeling those feelings that you're feeling when you're under pressure,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You can rely on that. And you can really learn that by doing that.
By
So
putting yourself under pressure. It's a 20-yard pull for me, LB. You know it. It's going to be, if it's an iron shot, I'll just line up way right, and it's like, I'm going to pull this dead left or whatever.
Yep.
so
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, so before we get you out of here, since you're a legit competitive golfer, now we're getting into competitive golf. I'm pushing the situation. You and me and LB, we're having a little friendly. There's nothing on the line, but it's a friendly match or whatever. And I want to get now that Nick's a rule expert. And by the way, I imagine next year, LB, when he finishes on local and final qualifying, he's going to be pushing people out of the way like a stanza, going directly to the scoring stage.
With a witness. Make sure you watch me. Look, I'm doing this.
Real quick, before I get to this, you talked about that, there's obviously different levels of competition as we compete more amongst ourselves. And we got some guys in the group who I think are going to do some USGA amateur competitions around Maryland just to see what it's like. Talk really quickly about how the gallery, because like you said, you've done the mid-am, you've done competitive golf, but the gallery, did that raise it a little bit for you? Did that add a noticeable effect, like having all your family and friends there? It had to, right?
yeah, I mean, like, it's when you play competitive golf enough, you can learn how to block that stuff out. But like, it definitely does add like a layer of I guess excitement or adrenaline.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a little bit more pumped. Like I definitely start hitting it a little bit further, and I might not be able to control myself as like just a normal weekend round of golf, but for sure, like it definitely adds something.
Yeah. The only, LB's shot over, what was it, 76 in Kentucky or whatever her LB, I think it was last year. Like I was very interested in these, the dynamic of the competition, because last year I shot my best round, I think, of 77.
Nice.
But there was no competition going on, right? And what you talk about, if you haven't been there before, it's going to be foreign to you. So I'm going through the round, and I know I'm a no-hitter rules guy. Like if I'm playing well, it's because I don't play well enough that often. So if I'm playing really well, I kind of don't look. But I know, like coming into 16, maybe 15, like,
it's in the back of your mind.
I hit left and then chipped, and then so I'm almost waiting for the blow up, Nick. And so on one of the par threes, I hit it left, and then I chipped to within a foot and and then I'm scrambling. And it's to the point where I'm like looking around. My playing partners aren't paying attention to what's happening. I'm like, guys, what's happening? 16, I stick it to like almost ace. And so I'm like, this is crazy. And so when I got to 17 blocks, Nick, at this point, now I've thought about it too much. And like you talk about the anxiety and the excitement, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna shoot under
I'm actually gonna do it this time.
And then if you could just picture a person on a bike just wheeling themselves into a wall, just slice. And again, still ended up with a good score, I think. But like excuse me, it finished with 77. I think I had a chance to shoot like maybe par or like sub 75, like 2 over. And then like on 17 into the woods, and then 18, just everything just fell off. And it felt, what I noticed was, like you said, I was like, man, nothing is on the line. Nobody cares about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Just the prospect of me having not been somewhere before, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get into those situations, and like obviously, the more you put yourself in them, the more you prepare for them. But like, you have to like disassociate yourself with the score behind it. And like, obviously, it's one thing to say it,
right?
You have to go out and do it, but like it's, growing up, there was always that goal that you were chasing, right? So like whether that was to break 100 or 90, or I'm trying to shoot under 40 for 9 holes. It's like you've always got this number in your head. And when you get underneath that and you have a chance to do that, like, you can kind of psych yourself out.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's a real thing.
For sure. So
one more question, Nick, before you go, Vern. With your family and friends following you, did you interact with them during the round, or did you just, kind of acknowledge them and keep moving, or how'd you do that?
100%. I mean, like with final qualifying, there's no ropes up. It's not like a PGA Tour event or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. They were walking beside me the entire time, and like when friends or like aunts and uncles and cousins would pull up, I'd walk right over to them and like dap them up or hug them and do whatever. Right. It was very, I guess, chill.
Okay.
All right.
The reason I asked that, I was at the Shop Rite this weekend, the LPGA up in New Jersey, And I followed Nelly for a while, and I don't know if it's her brother or boyfriend or whomever, some guy. And, as she's walking down, I think it was the 15th fairway, they're having a whole conversation as she's walking down the fairway. But yet, when she gets into her ball, she goes over, she's back in mode and, knocks her shot. And I thought about that as how, she was just laughing and joking just minutes ago, but now she's focused again back on her game. Obviously, she's one of the best to do it, but it just seemed odd to me to be able to turn that switch on and off like that in the game of golf, because it's so, at least in my mind, it's so cerebral.
Demanding.
That you'd be able to turn your emotions that fast.
That's kind of a good thing though, because like you want to be focused when you're hitting the golf shot, right? Like there's definitely a thing of where you could be focused for too long. You're going to be out on the golf course for 4.5, 5 hours sometimes in the competitive rounds, and like using all of that brain power, like in between shots, like you're going to be stressing yourself out. So like me, like going and talking to my family, or Nelly going and talking to whoever she was talking to in the fairway, like that is like, I think that's really important to kind of like not knock you off your focus, but like kind of distract you from what's going on around you.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Okay.
Yeah, so all right, so in our friendly match here, we got, it's LB and I, we got Nick out, we're gonna play a little golf, and got 5 common situations for you that come up in the recreational golf that I think are gonna be a problem for us going forward, LB, as we get more competitive. All right, we'll start easy here. Par 3, there's no drop area, there's a forced carry. LB says he wants to drop on the other side. I say he's got a re-tee. What say you? Don't be kind either, because we're here. Like, tell us, like, be real Nick on the course. Like,
did he cross the other side? Is my first question.
He did. Like he made it to the bank. Like, say PB die on, what is it, hole 2? I think LB now it's hole 2, the par 3. Made it right to the bank and it smacked and went into the water.
Rolls back down, into the shit.
Assuming that his ball crossed the hazard line, he would be.
Now I'm not asking for the USGA rule, Nick. I'm asking for your ruling. This is us playing a friendly. I want like the Nick recreational ruling.
Hit the bank and it rolled back in. I'm letting one of my boys drop it right on the other side.
Okay, there we go. That's right. There we go. All right.
How about that?
All right, we're good. Yeah, good. Don't be kind. Here we go. So we all had a late night. We're all pulling up to the course, like last second late, hopping out. I think you know where this one's going. We get on the first tee. Do we get one? Let's say, hey, if it's good, you go with it. If it's out of bounds, are we allowed one breakfast ball? Or what say you?
Okay. We are big fans of breakfast balls. I mean, we get off at 7:30 in the morning on the weekends sometimes. So, I mean, we don't really have time to go to the driving range. So
right.
I love a good breakfast ball.
Okay, yeah. We play early too. I like that. 6 a.m. All right, cool. So he's so far so good. Here's one that comes up sometimes. It's usually in the fall, but sometimes it happens with some summer. Plain sight drop. See you rip one down the middle of the fairway. We know it's good. When we get up there, nothing. We can't find it. Exactly. We can't find it. The three of us in the match, do we say, hey man, especially if we all agree, like this was ripped down the middle. Do we have plain sight, or is it like, I'm sorry, man, you're hitting 3? Like, what are we doing? Oh, I don't like this one.
Like that's tough because, like, is it like ball? Like, is there a bunch of leaves on the ground?
No leaves. A ball that shouldn't be lost. Oh, I think he's going to tell us to hit 3. Is that right?
Oh man. I mean, if you've played the course a million times and you know where your tee shot was going, like, look, fine, let's drop.
No, I'm not gonna push you. I'm gonna put Nick down for you. You're hitting 3. I didn't like all that consternation.
Whatever.
All right, just two more. Another one. Ball on the roots of the tree. All right, so ball on the roots of the tree. We're in a match. No, you're hitting it.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Off there, it's not worth injuring yourself over. That's stupid.
Or damage to club. Okay, gotta like that. And the last one, the big one, the coup d'etat. Smack one down right down the middle of the fairway. We get up there. It's in a big old sandy divot.
man, that's tough.
Nick might go USGA on us. What do we got?
Golf is hard.
Hey, because like this group that I play in the mornings with, like there's this one guy we play with, and like he's not I guess maybe he is a stickler, but like if we're playing the ball down, we're playing the ball down.
Really?
And that's it.
Oh man.
Right.
Okay.
Tough break, right?
I think, like you said, last question or whatever, like that's a situation. But like if it's in the middle of the fairway and you found the divot, it's kind of like one of those deals where it's like, hey man, tough luck.
Tough
like,
bleed.
That's the rubber green. So
okay, all right,
yeah.
All right. So hey, listen, if you go out and play with Nick, listen, bring your money and be prepared with your rule book and be prepared to turn in your scorecard at the end immediately to him and his playing partners.
right.
Hey, I appreciate it. You been a good sport. Oh, real quick. So U.S. Open prediction. What are you looking for here at Oakmont? Obviously, there's been a lot of storylines about how tough the course is going to be, and
in the rough. Jeez.
Yeah. Scheffler's a huge favorite. So anything you're looking for that we should be looking out for at Oakmont this week?
Dude, honestly, they've been getting a ton of rain this past week or so, and I think it's supposed to rain today there too. So greens might not be as firm as maybe they want. I think winning score is probably going to be around 2-3 under.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty low for Oakmont.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see. As for winner,
or a group of guys maybe you like, I mean, obviously we got to throw Scheffler in there just for, just for respect's sake, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Scotty, definitely Scotty. Rory, I don't know what the hell's going on with him right now.
I think he's still vibing, man.
Yeah, he's still on the Masters high.
Because that cut, I didn't expect him to miss the cut at RBC, to skip Memorial, then go to the RBC and miss the cut. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But man,
stuff going on right now. I don't know about Rory, but dude, I don't know who can compete with Scotty right now. Like the guy hits more fairways than anybody. Colin Morikawa might have a good shot at it just because he's a great driver and a good iron player.
Yeah.
I think the rough is going to be a teller. Whoever can stay out of that rough, will be. We'll have a good shot at winning because the rough is, from what I saw the last couple of videos I just saw, I'm like, oh my God, you couldn't even see the ball and they dropped it.
Yeah. I've been seeing like clips on like Instagram and Twitter, like just like walking and like dropping a ball in the rough and like you can't even find it.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if you can stay out of the rough, I guess you're gonna have a shot at it. But the rough is definitely going to be a penalizing shot for sure.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I knew it went over here. They should give me a plane sack. I mean, what are we doing?
Right, we all saw it. Go back, look at the cameras. We saw it.
It was about over here. All right. Well, hey.
Well, before we go, Nick, I have just one quick question.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What courses do you like in there? What are your favorite courses to play?
Aside from home, Turf Valley, I love playing Waverly Woods is a good one to go.
Just there 2 weeks ago. Love it.
Right across the street from us, and I also like where else do we like? Timbers of Troy.
Okay.
Elkridge, I love that track. That was a lot of fun in junior golf.
Been out to Frederick at all much? Like I said, Dye and Maryland National, maybe any of those guys?
I went out to Whiskey Creek last year.
Yep.
And that place was really good. I mean, it was a little slow just in like the pace of play, but like, I mean, that place was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Immaculate conditions. Yeah.
Really good conditioning.
Yeah.
I think we go there for our annual Father's Day golf.
Yeah. We'll be there this Sunday. I think there's I don't know if you've been there, up your way in Baltimore, Joppa, Maryland, Mountain Branch.
No.
Yeah. Oh, you should check it out. It's right up 95, and it's a gym. It's like a lot of people don't know about it, as I keep telling people about it on the podcast. But it's beautiful. So there, obviously Bully. We like to go up to Bully. We go there like maybe once or twice a year. It's obviously
That's up there.
Yeah, it is up like Aberdeen. Yeah. And then for the Baltimore County ones, man, Greystone, which is also way out there.
My brother has played there a couple times this year, and he says it's great.
It's nice. It's really nice. You would enjoy it, I think. So definitely get out there and put that work in, man. But and listen, we appreciate your time, man, and retelling this story, even though it sucked or whatever. USGA with other arbitrary rules or whatever, but we'll be pulling for you next year, man, for the local qualifying and the finals. Absolutely, for Shinnecock Hills. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that was Nick Barrett from Catonsville. Local golfer who got to the final round of qualifying and then got DQ'd on some nonsense, some arbitrary nonsense from the USGA. So from that, we're gonna roll to LB's annual visit to New Jersey for the Shop Rite Classic. You took some good pictures there. We saw them on IG. What else took place at the course? You said you sound like you weren't there that long.
Yeah, so it was the Shop Rite Classic is yearly event. It's a 3-day event, not a 4-day. And their cut is on Saturday.
Okay.
So they play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they cut on Saturday. I went up on Saturday morning. It was raining, of course, which almost made me not go, but I had but I had talked, I had emailed the director, Jeremy, that I would be there. So because he's been very gracious to me in the past, that I felt like I owe it to him when I say I'm going to come, that I just say my word is bond. So
right.
So I went. I made the trek up there. It was, initially when I got there, it wasn't raining. It was just cloudy and overcast. I had an assistant with me. Took Dawn with me. She was my assistant this time. We even got her media pass, so she was excited because she had a little lanyard that said she was the media. So we get out there, and back a little bit. This is probably the 8th or 9th time, if you count the days, that I've actually been to this tournament.
Right.
Whether it be media day or the actual tournament days that I've gone. Now, Shop Rite is right on the bay of I don't know what the bay is called, but it's across the bay from Atlantic City. You can see Atlantic City in the background from the grounds. So it's a very low-lying area.
Right.
Of the times that I've been there, never been any bugs, which is, to me, has been a shock. Never been any bugs. No mosquitoes, no gnats, nothing. Again, it's on the water, on a marshland, and there's never any bugs.
Right.
They made up for it this week.
They planned. They said, we knew.
Oh,
we kept this away all this time. We got you now.
No, it was terrible, dude. It was Falls Road times 3. It was terrible. And
was it affecting the golfers too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In particular, it was a whole par 3 on hole 17. I watched Jin Young Ko and her group tee off. And as the person's teeing off, the other people that are standing around, everybody's fanning. Right. The fans are fanning the bugs, the players are fanning bugs, caddies. I mean, if you got hands, you fanning.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and Nellie's in a group behind them. So Nellie's on the green of 16.
Yeah.
And Jin Young Ko and them are on the green on 17.
Right.
So I'm watching. I'm trying to watch both, and I'm watching Jin Young Ko. She got on the green and she putted. She was about to 2-putt.
Right.
And I had my big lens. I had my 18 millimeter lens on it, so I could see her putt from my vantage point. It couldn't have been more than 3 feet.
Right.
It couldn't have been more than 3 feet. So as she's crouching down, lining up her putt, she's fanning bugs.
Right.
She gets up. She gets to address the ball. She's fanning bugs. She stops and fans bugs. Do you know she missed that putt? She missed that putt. And I know in my heart of hearts, it was the bugs.
100%.
Because they were all, I didn't think I got bit. I was, fanning them or whatever. Fortunately, we had some DEET, the 100% DEET.
Oh, the legit, like the military DEET, like, hey.
Yeah.
I sprayed life in 20 years, but it'll work.
Yeah, I hadn't sprayed DEET like this. I don't know since when.
Yeah.
I mean, my arms was basically soaked with that stuff.
Right.
I sprayed my hat. I sprayed my shirt. I mean, they were relentless. And I know that they cost her a stroke. They cost her money. Them bugs cost her money. So yeah, the bugs were ridiculous. It did. So maybe we had been there probably 2 hours or so. And I had my radar, I checked the radar because I got to know when the rain's coming.
Right.
And it was coming. And it was going to be there for a while too. So we made our way back to the clubhouse. Of course, media gets free lunch. So we had our lunch and we waited a little while, probably waited another half hour, waiting for the rain to go past. And I kept checking the radar and it wasn't leaving. So we left.
Made a command decision. Made a command decision. I respect it.
Yeah. I made a command decision. But the results are in. Jennifer Cupcho won.
Yep.
Won at -15. She won $262,000. She MH Lee, I believe, I'm not looking at it right now, was in second place and really had a chance to catch her on the end, but she missed the putt to do that. Jinya Cole, who I talked about earlier, one of my favorite players, she finished at -1 for 48, terrible numbers, but $4,800. I did get to see one of my other favorite player,
48,000, right? 48,000.
No, 4,800.
Oh, okay.
I take that back. It's 4,691 to be exact.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
The LPGA they trash with their money. Patty T was in the tournament. I didn't get to see her because I didn't do a lot of walking.
Right.
She finished at -8 T15 for $23,000, as well as Nelly Corder finished at -8. And I did. Oh, the other person who was in the field, who I didn't get to see, but I'm glad to see she made it into the field, is Danielle Kane, who's been MIA for some time now. So I don't know the backstory. Was she injured or was just taking a break or whatever? But she was in the field, which I'm just glad to see she's back out there.
Right.
She finished at T54 at -$5,481. So all in all, the field was good because Nelly doesn't normally come to this tournament.
I remember you telling us that before you went too.
Yeah. When I saw her, she was coming. I really definitely wanted to go. She made it easier for me to make the decision to go, knowing she would be there.
Where did she finish? I'm looking.
She finished. Nelly was T15. Her and Patty T was like 3 or 4. Four ladies that finished at T15 -8.
All right.
I did get to see Maria Fossey, one of my favorites, who I consider the best dressed lady on the LPGA tour, and she was. And I did get a couple of shots of her. I'll post those this week on our Instagram page. I did get some shots. I mean, I did take some photos in between the bugs. I just can't express to you how relentless these bugs were.
Yeah, it's the worst too because they want to go in your eyes and your nose. It'd be fine if they were just flying around, but they're trying to go into your
your orifice.
Yeah, into your orifice.
That's no good.
I don't want that.
I felt so bad for Jinya Cole because I know that bug had to go in her eye or something.
There came a point where because we've all done this. There come a point where like over the 3-foot putt, she's just like F it. Like I'm gonna wave one time and hit it, and whatever happens.
Right, exactly.
Because I need to get out of here. Yeah, just get me out of here.
But all in all, it's always a good tournament. They always take care of the media well there. That's one of the reasons I always try and go.
Yeah.
And it's always a nice tournament too, and it's flat.
Yes.
I mean, if you a photographer, you want to take photos, you ain't got to worry about no hills and all that.
Or just a fan who wants to follow the ladies around or whatever. It's an easy walk.
Right. It's a very family friendly event. They have a bunch of stuff. Events for kids and all these things. They had I forget the name of it. They had a special thing on the driving range for amateurs. Doing the tournament. They have a whole area off that first tee where they have like moon bounce and all kind of stuff to keep
the family
kids occupied and things like that.
Yeah,
so it definitely is worth the drive, no doubt. So again, it comes every year the same first weekend, I guess around the 6th, 8th, whatever that is of June every year. It's worth the drive up this. If you like golf and you like LPGA, it's definitely worth the drive because they won't be any closer to you ever. Unless something happens at Congressional or they have
Robertson Jones again or something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But other than that, as far as a regular tour stop, there is none closer to us than the Shop Rite Classic. And it's again, the prices are great. I think it's $20 or something like that.
Right.
And kids are free. I mean, again, it's all they want people to come, so they make it very affordable for you to attend.
Show up. Nice. So before we get to the U.S. Open preview, you said you did catch a little bit of the close of the RBC Canadian. The only thing I know about this is that Rory McIlroy missed the cut, which kind of
Rory was trash. I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see that the other day. I think he finished like +10 or something like that, and one didn't even give a sniff of the cut line. So today being Monday, they did have, when I woke up this morning around 10, they were they were showing the final round.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they went to a playoff. So they showed all that. It went to 4. I want to say 4 or it was at least 4.
I should have been watching
Rounds. I mean 4 playoff holes, which was all the 18th. They just kept playing the
18 over and over again.
But what they did, which I thought was kind of interesting, I think after the third time they both parred, they kept getting pars. So him and who was the guy?
Ryan Fox and Sam Burns.
Fox. Yeah, Ryan Fox.
Yeah.
They kept getting pars. So on the 4th time, they moved the hole on the 18th green. Yeah, they cut a new hole while they was walking back to the tee box or taking the carts back to the tee box. They cut a new hole and kept playing the 18th. And apparently this is the only place they do that at. And they just came up with this idea recently for this tournament. So I thought that was pretty cool because most people, have never seen a hole being cut into the green.
Not live during a tournament either.
Right. Exactly.
I appreciate this. I like that after the third one, they're like, look, the sun is set. It's like, we got to go home, man. One of these
guys we got to make something happen.
Put like a bush in the middle of the fairway or something. Don't hit the bush. Like that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so they cut a hole and they cut it toward the front of the green, but over toward the water.
Yeah.
So risk reward type situation. And Fox hit a great second shot from the fairway with a hybrid to within, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet.
Sunk it.
Or whatever, knocked it in to win. Burns ended up getting the par, I believe, on the last
Again.
hole. Yeah. So when I was watching it though earlier, I guess the first 2 rounds, I had it on at least, and not Cameron, most guy got Chase. Why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, Cam Young?
No, our brother, man.
Okay.
Who
hasn't played in a long time.
Yeah, the only black guy on tour right now.
Yeah, because I'm looking for him in the top in the top 20.
No,
I'll get his name. Huh?
Cameron. Isn't that his name? Cameron
Champ.
Yeah, Cameron Champ. I'm sorry. Thank you. Because he had the 36 hole. I think he had one of them. I think he had the 36 hole lead, and then he gave it up on the third round. Yeah, he shot 71 on.
Oh, I see him T9
Saturday,
14 under.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. You talked about not seeing Daniel Kang in a while. I haven't seen Cam Champ on a PGA.
Right. Well, I think he lost his card or to some extent of it because he's been playing on the Korn Ferry Tour as of late.
Okay.
So and I think he got in from an exemption or something to get into this tournament. And when he was leading, they were saying this will be great for his career because he can get his card back and be back on the tour. But he faltered there on
the last day
rounds there. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was good to see him and playing well there for at least for a little while for 2 rounds or so.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. So that's all I got for the
RBC. So from the RBC to the star of the week, obviously the U.S. Open this week in Oakmont out there just outside of Pittsburgh, I believe. Our first time going back there since 2016. Before that, it was 2007. Last winner was Dustin Johnson. I'd forgotten about that, him winning there. That was his first major. That's why. Because I'd remembered the debacles at the Whistling Straits and stuff where he came close but wasn't able to close the deal. So here's what I know. I've watched a lot of golf, Oakmont. So for all of the hate that Quayle got before the PGA, we see it twice and all this. Oakmont, listen, I'm as much a golf architecture nerd as anybody, but if you go listen to Fried Egg and some of these other podcasts, they are glazed. They love Oakmont. Oakmont it's one of the original difficult courses. One of the things I heard about it that I think is interesting is, which I guess it deserves credit for this. Courses have identities, right? Or for instance, the Open Championship in general is links golf. We know what it is. If the weather's tough, you're gonna have a tough time. Blah blah blah. The idea is that Oakmont doesn't have to try to be a difficult course because I guess at its inception, it's the creator. They wanted it to be. So it's not putting on. It's it's not the U.S. Open. The USGA doesn't have to come there and be like, oh, we're gonna roll. It's no, it's built to be difficult anyway. And something about that I think the famous one was it Olympia, or the one in San Fran some years ago where they were complaining.
Olympia.
About how difficult it was. This one is like known as one of the hardest tests in golf, but the golfers seem to be okay with it, and I think that's because of the identity, I guess, of the course. It's like, nope, we know if we come here, it's gonna be hell realm. It's gonna be difficult.
Right.
So coming into the week, listen to a lot of like podcasts about going on about the architecture and how to make design to be difficult, the rough. If you haven't seen, I think Bryson DeChambeau posted some YouTube video of him practicing.
Yeah, a bunch of players have.
yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a nightmare. Other than, as Nick called out in the interview earlier, it's been raining a little bit, so maybe the greens will be a little bit slower. But famously, just really thick, rough, really fast greens. No water on the course at all. I guess it doesn't need it with the rough being as insane as it is. So all week you're going to hear about that. Number one, difficulty of the course. Two, you're going to hear about Scheffler. Each major we do these previews, and it's a lot. It's a lot of the same. What's the course talking about? What's Scheffler looking like? If you're a Bryson fan, we'll get to that in a second. There's something to watch out for him. But here, the thing I'm most interested actually in LB, and we're going to find out probably pretty quickly, like in the first or second round, whether or not there's something here. Because I was looking for something other than the common storylines, right? Phil Mickelson didn't realize in my how many majors he's got. 6 majors, and in my mind, he has 6. And I could have sworn he had all of them, and he doesn't. He does not have a U.S. Open.
Doesn't have a U.S. Open.
Doesn't have a U.S. Open, and so they were saying that this is Phil's last year of exemption for the from his 2021 PGA Championship win. And it's his last chance or maybe one of his last chances, realistically, to complete the career Grand Slam. So that surprised me. I had no idea. All this time, I thought he doesn't have one. Now I'm going to say it's not looking good because in 2007 and 2016, when he was in a much better playing shape, he missed a cut both times at Oakmont. So that's why I said
he hasn't made a cut in a major in some time. Not even the easy ones. I put in air quotes.
Did he make the cut at the Masters last time? I'd have to look. I probably should have looked it up, but
yeah, if he did, he was by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, it's not been much, and it's not like you said. If he missed it in like 2007 and 16 when he's in a much better form,
right?
It's not looking good. But I thought that interesting. I had no idea that he still no U.S. Open, and this is his last year of eligibility. Last year of eligibility for being exempt, I guess, from qualifying. Which.
Right.
Side question: do you see say he just misses the cut or doesn't come close here for next year's U.S. Open? Do you see him having to qualify? Do you think they would give him I think they would probably just throw him an exemption. Do you think or
I don't think they should.
I don't think they should either.
No, because I saw Ricky Fowler, was trying to get qualified to get in, and he didn't make it. A bunch of pros
missed out.
Yeah, a bunch of pros didn't get in. So. And he's a defector on top of that, so they should really not let him in.
Yeah. Well, that aside, even he's not really. I don't think he's as a name. I don't know if he's popping like that anymore to where they need to throw. It's like, we got to get Phil Mickelson out of here.
Right. So, exactly. Yeah. He's not Tiger. That's for sure.
Exactly. So if he doesn't make it, there's a realistic chance he just won't be playing in the U.S. Open next year unless he wants to qualify. And I personally don't see him trying.
He's not gonna make no noise, even if he's in the field. He ain't gonna make no noise.
No, I mean, I'm saying if he doesn't. Does he try to and they say, hey, we're not going to give you an exemption? Would he try to qualify next year? And I was like, I don't think so.
I don't think.
All the work that goes into that.
Either.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay,
he'd take his millions of dollars from the LIV and be happy.
Okay, credit to you. Course difficulty. So just as a side note, in 2007 and 2016, only 4 players scored under par for the week. So again, Oakmont, it should be a brutal test. I'm going to get to some betting stuff here in a second. Was there anything? I know you've been a man about town lately and everything else. Haven't watched a ton of golf. Are we looking
man
forward
about
to
world?
Yeah, man about world. That's right. International, Mr. International. Are you looking forward at all to watching anything this week for the US Open? Settling down, catching up on your rest, and watching some golf.
Yeah, I do want to see. So I'm looking at the pictures now, and they're showing the church pews, and I've always liked those. We played a course, and I have no idea where it was now. I'm trying to remember where we played. We played a course that had the church pews on one of the fairways.
Okay.
Do you remember? Does that ring a bell to you anywhere?
It vaguely does, actually. Something that was similar, very similar to that.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same setup, but obviously it wasn't there. It wasn't there, but it was. Yeah, I forget where that was because I remember my ball being in that, having to try and play out of it, not very successfully either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching. And I prefer when I'm watching professionals play for it to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to see when they shoot, minus 25 or whatever for the tournament. If somebody wins at -5, I'm with it. I'm with that. Bring all the pain and carnage you can.
Yeah.
Because that's what it inflicts on me when I play. So why should they be exempt? Even just because they're professionals and better than I am.
I like it. Nothing for competition. Just spite. Too. Just spite that he wants to suffer.
Yes, spite. It's all spite. Exactly. Feel my pain.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, so we'll just get to some real quick betting. So again, those are the, again, coming into the week, difficulty. Oh, real quick, I said Bryson. Got to get back to that. If you're a Bryson fan, I believe the key for him here, based on his last 2 performances, is going to be his iron game. Nothing, obviously, it's cliche to say, oh, he's got to find the fairway, but that's everybody. But his iron striking, I guess, when I kind of went back and looked at the stats, has been, to close these tournaments, the Masters and Quail Hollow, wasn't great, and Oakmont's going to make you pay. It's going to be way more penal than those. So if you're a Bryson fan, just keep an eye. If he's striking his irons well, he might have a chance. But I really do. This is crazy from a betting perspective. For those of you who don't bet, Scotty is plus 275. That's basically 3 to 1. For golf, the standard is maybe 400, 500, or whatever. But he's that good where it's just it's almost getting into even odds. I mean, that's crazy. And to be fair, I mean, he's earned it. He's earned the respect. So. Yeah. He doesn't have a U.S. Open though, does he? No. Oh no, he's only got 2 Masters, I believe.
Yeah, 2 Masters.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, the 2 Masters and just a bunch of wins. That's
right. Yeah. A bag load of wins.
Yeah, exactly, a whole bunch. So this should be interesting for him. So we got him at 275. He's going to run down the top 10. DeChambeau behind them at 800. Rory at 10 to 1, plus 1,000, which I think that number probably gets a little bit worse between now and Thursday. Rahm 1,200, Sanders 2,000, Colin 25 to 1, Ludwig 30 to 1, Joaquin 35 to 1. Last 2, Fleetwood 35 to 1, and JT at 40 to 1. Noticeably absent from that top 10 list is our boy Koepka. Old big game Brooks.
Right.
He's sitting down the board at around 55 to 1. You get him for about 55, 6,000, depending on what books you go to. And Victor Hovland also sitting there about 6,000.
Yeah.
Plus 6,000.
All those guys this season so far have been MIA.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? So,
and the idea that you're going to pull up on one of the most difficult courses.
Right.
Now, as I say this, it's going to be like, oh my God, Brooks, whether it was about 12 under. But seriously, usually I think, as I understand it, the more difficult the course, the bigger a separator it is for a guy like somebody like Scheffler or Xander or, Bryson DeChambeau versus the field. You should see a larger gap there.
The cream going to rise
to the top. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm geeked up. I can't wait to watch this Thursday. Like I said, this and the Open are my 2 kind of favorite majors. They go back and forth. And again, I'm sure the USGA was excited that, with Oakmont here, hey, if it's too difficult, we're not going to get blamed because Oakmont's identity is exactly. We're the most difficult course. They could just put their hands up. So I'm looking forward to the carnage as well.
Yeah, the rain. Like I say, the rough. If you haven't done it yet, go on Instagram or wherever you get your fake news from and look at the rough. Because I just saw one. I think it was Griffin. Whoever Griffin is.
Oh, Ben Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped the ball, and
drop the ball, move the camera away, move back,
and move back. You can't find it. I mean, you really can't find it. The people, the marshals that are on that's gonna be lining the fairways and stuff.
They got their work cut out.
They're gonna get a workout. They're gonna get a workout this tournament because even they may have problems finding the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? They see it, they gonna see it go into the spot and still can't find it.
I wish I was a volunteer.
There's gonna be a lot of stepped on balls.
Yeah.
It's in the rough. They looking for it and they step on it. Now it's squished down in the rough already. Man,
I wish I was volunteer. Players cussing out volunteers. Where is it? I don't know, man. It's over here. You hit it over here. Hit it the fairway. It's about over there. That's where I saw it.
There's gonna be a lot of cussing this weekend.
It is. Some clubs getting broke. Okay, so before we get out of here real quick, we did have rounds or a round on the weekend this past weekend. I had something to do Sunday. got out to PB die with, you know what, he's not here to defend himself, but to hell with it. He'll do it next week. So we had a round schedule for PB die, myself, Aaron, Mike, and Claude. And the previous week, me, Aaron, and Mike played at Waverly Woods, and Aaron said, "Hey Vern, like let's do a match." I said, "Okay, cool." And then Mike goes, "You know what? Since Claude's coming next week to die, I'll do a match with him." And then Claude's like, and then I appreciate what he did here. He's like, "You know what? How did I get in this? I'm not even there. We're gonna do stroke play with everybody." And I said, "Okay, cool." So I got an app called Golfify. It's pretty dope. You can enter the scores and send a link to everybody, and they can follow the scores. It's really cool. So I set everything up for the die round this past Saturday. And man, we get on the range there. All three of us are there, and I get a text from Claude. He's like, "Hey man, I can't find my keys." And I'm like, now here's the thing. And Claude's gonna hear this for the first time when he hears the show. Claude, I love Claude like a brother, and I mean that. I'm not being facetious. And anything he says is always true. But I'm his staunchest defender. But even me, when I got the text that it said I can't find my keys, even me, I had to be like, I don't know, bro. Like, you're the most organized person. You be recording the show. You got a million things going on. You can't find you for real. And so it was a whole thing.
That's the best excuse you can come up with today.
LB, this sounds to me like the cop pulls you over. I'm late for surgery, but like you actually are late. It's like whatever. Or like your wife walk in or something. It's like, oh, I fell on her, but for real, I tripped and I fell. No, it was tough. It was tough. Now apparently he did actually lose. We gave him grief in the group text. Right. He did actually lose his keys. He had a work thing he had to do or whatever, so he didn't make it out. But the moral of the story is Aaron, Mike, and I played a stroke play event, and it was good, man. Like I said earlier in the interview with Nick, if you're in a group where you do, I mean, a lot of groups do like birdie pots and different things, but I encourage you guys to just do more competitive golf. And shout out Glenn. I think he's kind of talked about this earlier this year, with this being a goal, and he's going to be challenging all of us to matches, which he's done already a few times. It does change the nature. I think I played better because of it, because I'm more focused on just playing good golf instead of being out there and doing trying stupid stuff. Basically, you play a more conservative game, and it's fun. It's legit fun. And shout out Aaron too for kind of like putting it to us initially to see how we would do, having to put everything out, no mistakes or anything like that. So it's pretty good. So we'll try it again this weekend at Whiskey Creek for anybody who's interested. We got 12 guys coming out. We might put a little something on it, maybe like $5 a guy or something for anybody who's interested. We can have a net and a gross pot. I'll throw it out in the group text to see what people are feeling. But it gets tight, LB. When like I said, I did have a couple of 1-footers where I'm like, hey, that's clearly good. And they're like, oh, you got to putt it, and then I putt it.
The only question for me is, do I still get my 62-year-old hitting from the front tees?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you could. Oh man! All right, we'll discuss it. To me, I'm good with it.
I gotta put this out to the board for approval.
Yeah, I gotta put it out to the board for approval. Right? Matt might have something to say about that because they think you hit pretty low, and Aaron too. So he might.
Well, I haven't played a round of golf since when we played. I played in San Antonio for the Final Four.
Oh, it was that long ago.
So when was that? April. It was the first week of April.
Yeah, or
last time I played golf. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I am playing your boy, Coach Howard.
Yeah. Has
me playing this Friday in a tournament with him. And the reason I think he called me for two reasons.
Is it in Baltimore?
No, it's at Renditions.
Oh, okay.
It's at Renditions. And the two reasons I think he called me: one, he knows I'm available. That's one.
That's one, yeah.
And the second is because I can hit from the front tees.
Yeah. Howard's a gamer, so he would.
Yes, exactly. So I believe that's the only two reasons he called me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But
yeah, well, like I said, your iron game's good enough to make that an advantage. I'm playing in the tournament this Friday with Glenn, our buddy Glenn. He's running the Bros tournament up there. In Baltimore or whatever. So that
look for my sign. I ordered the sign, so look for my sign. I don't know what hole it's on.
Okay, all right. I will
take a picture of it and send it to me.
Send it to you. Okay, all right, all right. But yeah, the moral of the story: if you can play more competitive golf with your boys, get out there and do it. It actually, and again, you don't have to put anything. It doesn't have to be even without the money on it. It does. You're like sometimes over the shots, like, damn, I'm like nervy over this because you don't want to mess it up, especially if you have a lead or whatever. So shout out to the competitive golf. Shout out to our guy Claude losing his keys just in the nick of time.
In the rain too. Yeah.
In the rain.
Mhm.
Yeah. It did rain on us. It did, but once it cleared up, maybe about hole 7 or whatever, and everything was good. So it was a good time. We're just kidding. We love you, Claude. So we know he wasn't ducking smoke. So, all right, folks, that's it. It's a long episode today, but I think a good interview with Nick, and we'll be looking forward to talking post U.S. Open results on the next episode.
Yep.
And
happy Father's Day to you, all you fathers out there. By the time you listen to this, it'll be getting close to Father's Day. So
absolutely happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and you tune in next time for Golf DMV.